How you doing, Rick?
Good, Megan. How about you?
I'm doing well. I think
Yeah.
today is 16 days until Thanksgiving.
Is it really?
It
Oh,
is. I know. I love Thanksgiving. We have
I love this
Thanksgiving.
time of year.
Oh yeah, we have it with our West Coast family, and we have a big client, the pie party before the week of, and this is my
Hmm.
favorite time of year, just to like catch up with
Hmm.
people and have a
Yeah.
nice time and talk to people, because it's like every year it's
Yeah.
super busy.
Take a breather and enjoy the time of year, right? Take
Yeah.
some a bit of time off when you can get it, right?
Well, when you can get it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of planning in our office. I might have mentioned this last week, but I am so excited to have this new office. I know I talk about it all the time, but
Hmm.
I'll show you next time. I got this huge glass dry erase board. And so I can like teach, that's what I
Oh,
like to
cool.
do.
Uh-huh.
And so we had our first class last week on goal writing. We have 3 classes and they're 2 hours each. It's like pretty serious because if
Nice.
you write your goals and you really put like your whole effort into exactly what you're going to be doing, then you
Hmm.
don't have to reinvent the wheel every Monday, and be like,
Right.
oh, gee, what am I going to do this week to get work? Because that's what you have to do when you're self-employed.
Yeah,
So,
it's for sure.
so anyway, I want to talk about something that is hot on the news. I mean, it's in every realtor's
It is.
Facebook and Instagram post.
Same with lenders. It's
Yeah, and they're
everywhere.
like, haha, Zillow is, they were into the house buying business. And
Hmm.
then when the pandemic hit pretty hard, they were kind of just getting started then. And then the
Yeah.
pandemic hit, they shut it down, and
Hmm.
then they started it again.
They
And
did.
now they're out. And
Hmm.
so I kind of want to talk about that a little bit. So, just for the record, a lot of realtors say they hate Zillow. Okay. And from my perspective, I don't really care about Zillow or Redfin or anybody like that. I just care about myself and what I'm doing
Right.
because I can't control how things are going in other people's planets. Okay. So,
Hmm.
I mean, I have a very good friend client who is a really big deal at Zillow. You know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
want
Great
nothing
guy
but
too.
success
Yep.
for my friend. So,
You got
um,
it.
yeah, and there's enough room in real estate for everybody to make a good living and to do a
Hmm.
good job if you're doing, things that you're good at doing. So,
Hmm.
which brings me to the valuation of houses and why this didn't work in my opinion.
Hmm.
I'm not a Zillow expert, but I am a house expert. I do know that, so I could tell you
That
what,
we
but
know.
I had an incident
Uh-huh.
happen
Uh-huh.
with myself with basically one of my clients wanted to purchase a condo,
Hmm.
and someone had passed away and it was her like best friend's neighbor, and so
Hmm.
we got in touch with the trust and we gave them a really nice offer in comparison to the rest of the sales in the neighborhood. Like it was a really generous good offer because we
Hmm.
wanted them to take it off the market and sell it to us, right?
Right.
So we put our best foot forward. So the owner went online and while we were kind of back and forth and submitted a request to Zillow.
Hmm.
And all the houses in this neighborhood had been selling about the 650-ish range.
Hmm.
And the Zillow offer that they gave to the seller was 750. It
Hmm.
was about 100,000 more than what the property was worth.
Hmm.
And that was, oh my gosh, that was I'm trying to shut my phone off here. That was complete and utter BS because it
Hmm.
wasn't worth that much,
Right.
because Zillow was looking at it from a computer point of view and
Right.
not from what it's actually happening kind of point of view. So this house, for example, was a condo, and it was in a really small community, maybe 50 units and within a big neighborhood. So Zillow was looking at the whole neighborhood. I mean, you could get a big house for 800,000. So why am I going to buy a little condo for 750 kind of a thing? So, but they send people out to look. I mean, but people didn't realize, you still had closing costs. They were still like more than what you'd pay if you put your house up for sale. It's like, I mean, it was negotiable, but they would charge you a fee that's not a realtor fee, but it's like pretty equivalent. It could be, 6% plus, then they would charge, and then they would charge other fees. Pretty soon you're paying like 8 to 12% in fees. Like, it was very, I mean, a lot of people did it, but and I can understand. It's like, if you have a house to sell and you've got some kind of drama in your life, or the house is in deplorable condition and you're embarrassed, you might call a one-stop shop and see if you can work something out. But at the end of the day, it's always best to call a realtor, because they know of all the options that you have. They're not a one trick pony. They know of all the options you have. So if that is your situation, there's other places to turn to get things done that will probably net you, a really good amount of money, and could be as equally not a pain in the butt. And the other thing I wanted to mention about Zillow, for example, and I really wish people would listen to this very, very carefully. A lot of these websites, they're websites, they're technology companies. They're not real estate companies. But what happens is they sell space on their websites to realtors, so that the realtors can get the cold leads, they call it, the people that call in off the internet. And so the unfortunate thing is that, like, you'll have my listing and you'll have another realtor's picture and phone number under there. And so somebody could call and get that other realtor, not me. And that other realtor is supposed to tell them about the property when they most likely have zero information on it. So I just, like, we can do better as consumers. We have to do better, and we have to be able to see the difference between calling someone who has paid for the spot in front of our eyeballs, versus just going to the source and getting the right information. Because these technology companies are making money selling ad space to realtors.
Correct.
That's how they make money.
Well, true. And to that point, that does not mean because that realtor's face and phone number is on that ad, if you will, that they're the most qualified realtor. Right. There's a difference between, paying for an ad and being qualified to really know that market.
Right. Exactly. So understanding why Zillow buying houses didn't work is because it's really hard to really understand what the appropriate value is on homes in most neighborhoods that are pretty much like non-conforming. It's like, if everything was the same, then it would be a lot easier, but it's not the same.
Well, I mean, computer models certainly have their own place in certain spaces. But I think Zillow learned kind of the hard way that a computer model is not the best method to analyze a home and price a home. And I think they're losing on that about $300 million or something. It's a big number. So
yeah, it's a big number.
But so yeah, that's why it's important. And to your point earlier, is to have a real estate professional who knows that home and knows that market.
Yeah, and that's another thing is too. I mean, honestly, to see a lot of these houses through pictures and then to go and actually see them is a whole nother story. There's just something to tangibly, touching things to make it. But I mean, Zillow,
tires,
Yeah, they were really the first ones to wholeheartedly just throw themselves on the sacrificial fire so that everybody can learn. So hopefully,
Yeah.
I know they'll recover from that, and
Oh yeah, no doubt.
they'll learn, and everybody else will learn from it too. So
Right.
there's that. So the first thing is, and there's estimates, sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. They're just doing the best that they can,
Well, I think that, again, that has a certain place to get some ideas, but frankly, if estimates, if you will, were that accurate, we would not be having appraisers to go out and do appraisals on home loans. We just use this estimate, right?
Exactly. I know. Wouldn't that be easy? I had a seller call me over the weekend, and they said, well, I've checked online, and this website and that website says that I'm 950, but on this website it says I'm worth 1.5. I thought, wow, well, that's a pretty, thank you for sharing. That's a pretty
right.
We'll see it for ourselves. But anyway, so just to understand what tools that are out there, how they can be used, and what to stay away from. That if you want to find a realtor to help you, get a referral from a friend. So go online, look the realtor up. How many sales have they had in the last year? I mean, you have to have at least, I don't know, 12 sales or something to be considered full-time. I'm not sure. So, but you have to I ran into a situation a couple of months ago where this realtor put this house up for sale. And I think she probably had to go to be institutionalized next, because she went MIA. She hasn't sold a house in a few years, didn't know the tools to best navigate, multiple offer situation or coordinate showings or that sort of thing.
Right.
So you gotta put your nose to the ground here and find a good realtor. Otherwise you're going to be in some doo-doo probably.
Yes, no doubt about that.
Well, no doubt. I think that's all I wanted to talk about with Zillow. Zillow, we wish you well. We thank you for this lesson that you have put out there for everybody.
Well, it was a great idea on paper.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's like to solve people's problems of having to sell before they can buy and that sort of thing. I mean, that was pretty attractive. So yeah. It's always a quandary, right?
For sure.
All right. Well, thanks, Rick, for listening to my Zillow talk today. And
good stuff.
I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Megan. See ya. Have a good week.
See ya.
Bye-bye.